The P-2 Astromech unit was the first droid specifically designed and marketed as an Astromech droid by their developer Industrial Automaton, and served as the prototype to the later R-Series. Developed several decades before the Clone Wars, it was sold exclusively to the Old Republic merchant fleet. Standing at a whopping 2.3 meters tall, the P-2 towered over most humans and droids. It featured a barrel-shaped body, retractable manipulator arms, 3-wheeled legs, a sensor-laden domed head, and it used a video display for communication. Astromechs primarily served as a type of repair droid and basically functioned as mechanics aboard starships. Many starfighters also came to depend on Astromech co-pilots to manage flight controls and power distribution systems. The P-2 became popular as a shipboard maintenance tool in the Old Republic fleets. However, the P-2 had notable drawbacks. It was sluggish and slow to learn, with frequent design glitches when trying to communicate. Later on, Industrial Automaton planned to release the P-2 to the wider public, but it was derailed by a technology infringement lawsuit. Although the case was eventually dropped, the legal battle and ensuing bad publicity forced the company to abandon the design. In response, Industrial Automaton hastily developed the R1 unit, which incorporated the key innovations from the P-2 in a more compact and versatile form. The R1 series Astromech Droid, also known as the R1 reactor drone, was Industrial Automaton's first model in the R-series Astromech line. It was developed as an improvement over the P-2 series prototype, though its design was rather unconventional. To reduce cost, Industrial Automaton repurposed the jet black body shells of its Mark II reactor drone. Also, it was equipped with a single treaded unipod instead of legs. What made it special, though, was that it was the first Industrial Automaton astromech capable of calculating navigational coordinates for hyperspace jumps, as well as introducing binary beeps as the standard inter-droid communication language. It was also rather tall, standing at 1.94 meters, and the R1 was typically stationed aboard capital ships and freighters. While its array of retractable tools made it a useful technician, owners frequently complained about its stubborn personality and unreliable mobility, as its unitread made it slow and prone to malfunction, often rendering the droid immobile. Industrial Automaton promised to address these flaws in its next model, and despite its shortcomings, the R1 series proved highly successful, ultimately paving the way for its renowned successor, the R2 series Astromech Droid. Over 30 years after its introduction, an R1 unit named R1G4 can be seen with the Jawas on Tatooine. They attempted to sell it to Uncle Owen, but Owen opted instead for R2D2. R1G4, due to that, is also a staple in all the LEGO Sandcrawler models, where it's always listed as a figure. Kid me always thought that the R1 units looked really cool. And just to touch on the UCS Sandcrawler real quick, what an awesome set. Let me know if you own one. The R2 series Astromech droids were the most popular and successful Astromech droids produced by Industrial Automaton. Though visually similar to the prototype P-2 series, the R2 was significantly smaller, standing at just 1.08 meters. As an upgrade to the R1, the R2 moved on 2 threaded legs with a third retractable leg for added stability. Each foot contained a power cell and motorized treads for movement, and they were equipped with magnetic stabilizers for enhanced grip. The droid's computer housed data on over 700 spacecraft configurations, making it capable of handling a vast array of different ships. It was equipped with various sensors that could detect a wide range of signals, including electromagnetic activity, heat, motion, and life forms. Additionally, a video sensor extended from its dome, helping it inspect tight spaces and scan its surroundings. The R2's body also concealed a big array of built-in tools, including 2 retractable manipulator arms, an electric arc welder, a circular saw, a scomp link arm for direct computer access, a holographic recorder/projector, an internal cargo compartment, and a general-use fire extinguisher, all standard from the factory. Industrial Automaton also made the R2 highly customizable, leading owners to equip some of them with accessories such as jet thrusters, underwater propellers, and even inflatable life rafts. Tech enthusiasts were said to often engage in friendly competition to create the most uniquely modified R2 unit. One of these uniquely modified ones can be seen in The Mandalorian as the Ferry Droid. Unlike the R1 series or the P-2, the R2 was also specifically engineered to fit within military starfighter astromech slots like X-Wings or the Jedi Interceptors. Once plugged in, they monitored flight performance, highlighted technical issues, optimized power management, and assisted in navigation. Their Intellect's 4 computer in their dome also housed 10 hyperspace vector coordinates, serving as a backup in case the navicomputer failed. Additionally, R2 units had the intelligence and experience to start up the ship's engine and even fly the fighters themselves without any human pilot. The main reason why they were so widely appreciated was due to their personality as well. Industrial Automaton carefully designed their personality to be quick-witted, obliging, and sincere. If their memory wasn't wiped, R2 units tended to become independent and strong-willed, which many owners actually liked. Starfighter pilots especially grew attached to their R2 droids, often sticking with the same one for every mission. The most famous R2 unit was obviously R2-D2, who is even recognized by people who literally have never seen Star Wars. He was instrumental in the entire saga and has witnessed and survived literally every war and battle. Be it in the Clone Wars, the Galactic Civil War, delivering the Death Star plans, or even more impressively, surviving the sequels which notoriously killed off so many main characters. Okay, yes, I know they reversed his memory wipe, but still, why was that in there? Only R2 survived all this. That's why he's the best droid and will forever be one of the poster boys of the Star Wars franchise. Also, like this video if you own any of the UCS LEGO R2-D2s. I have the 2021 version, however I actually prefer the 2012 version for some reason. Can't really say what exactly it is. Maybe it's the eye on the new one. Anyway, let me know which one you prefer. The R3 series Astromech Droid was Industrial Automaton's successor to the highly successful R2 series. The company upgraded the R2's Intellect's 4 computer to the more powerful Intellect's 5, which became a key selling point. To showcase this improvement, Industrial Automaton replaced the R2's solid dome with a transparent one, making the advanced computer system visible as a marketing tactic. This design choice also provided it with a 360-degree field of vision and improved its sensor capabilities. Unlike the R2, which was designed for starfighters, the R3 was optimized for large capital ships and space stations. Its computer allowed it to store detailed schematics for entire fleets, giving it an edge in capital ship diagnostics, system repairs, and tactical planning. For example, an R3 assigned to the Republic Navy could hold blueprints for every ship in the fleet, assisting gunners, security teams, engineers, and command staff. The droid could also interface with ship systems to help manage navigation and tactical coordination. Some capital ships were built with specialized astromech slots where R3 units could be stationed, leaving only their domes visible while they carried out tasks. However, it could still function as a starfighter astromech if needed, storing up to 5 hyperspace jump coordinates in its memory, which is half the capacity of an R2 unit, but still effective. In addition to its military applications, the R3 found use in government agencies, assisting officials from administrators to imperial moffs. Industrial Automaton programmed the droid to be socially adaptable, making it well-suited for environments where it worked closely with large crews. R3 units were often compared to protocol droids in terms of personality, as they were designed to be sociable and comfortable in busy environments. Their heuristic processors enabled problem-solving and curiosity, leading many R3s that lost their original owners to seek companionship with new organic beings. To establish the R3 as an elite model, Industrial Automaton set a high price and produced it in limited quantities. Due to its military applications, sales were restricted to official governments and military organizations. The strategy paid off, as the R3 sold rapidly, earning Industrial Automaton substantial profits. The Galactic Republic alone purchased 125 million units from the first production run, deploying them across the Republic Navy and Judicial Department. During the Clone Wars, due to overwhelming demand, some units were shipped with repurposed R2 domes instead of the characteristic transparent heads. In one arc of the Clone Wars series, General Grievous exploited the Republic's reliance on R3s by stealing and reprogramming a unit designated R3-S6, nicknamed Goldie, to spy on the Jedi. Goldie was assigned to Anakin Skywalker as a replacement for R2-D2 who got kidnapped, and R3 tries his best to sabotage Anakin before being exposed and ultimately destroyed by R2-D2. Due to its higher price and limited availability, the R3 did not achieve the widespread appeal of the R2 series. However, the transition from the Galactic Republic to the Galactic Empire did little to slow R3 sales, as the Empire continued to honor Republic-era contracts. R3 units were deployed aboard Imperial Star Destroyers, Death Stars, and other warships. Industrial Automaton, eager to build on the success of its groundbreaking R2 series, quickly moved to expand its dominance in the Astromech Droid market. The result was the R4 Astromech Droid, Also known as the R4 series aggromech droid, a model designed to appeal to a different audience, the outer rim mechanic or urbanite more likely to own a tricked-out land speeder rather than a starfighter. While the R4 retained the general body shape of the R2 and R3 units, several cost-cutting measures were implemented. Features such as the video display screen and miniature fire extinguisher were removed to lower production cost. The holographic projector was kept but repositioned to the top of the dome. The Intellect 6 computer system was advanced but optimized for speeders and cargo transports rather than starfighters. The internal components were spaced further apart to reduce manufacturing expenses, which led to it requiring a larger dome. Also, a lot of the functionalities of the R2 units were removed, which can be visible on the dome's simplicity and lack of features. Due to these trade-offs, the R4 was not really suited for starfighter use, as it could only store the coordinates for a single hyperspace jump. Despite these limitations, the R4 proved to be incredibly durable. It was built to withstand the wear and tear of a working garage, handling dents and scrapes better than its predecessors. It was very resistant to harsh weather conditions and environments like sand and snow, remaining functional in any condition. The Jedi Order found the R4's durability especially appealing. However, because Jedi missions required interstellar travel, most R4 units purchased by the Order were modified to include the more R2-style dome, combining the best features of both models. Many of these droids were further customized at the Jedi Temple to permanently interface with the Jedi starfighters. One such R4 was used by Obi-Wan called R4-PU-17. The R4 was also a hit in the mass market and found favor with the Rebel Alliance. Rebels appreciated its low cost and broad mechanical knowledge, making it a great resource for maintaining general-purpose vehicles. As a result, R4 units became a common sight in Alliance bases and hangar bays. The Empire also used R4 units as couriers to transport data they didn't want to send through a network. The R5 series Astromech Droid was a budget-friendly line of astromech droids produced by Industrial Automaton. Designed as a low-cost alternative to the R2 series, the R5 prioritized affordability over functionality by removing some features but keeping the most important ones. The R5 featured what was called an R2N aggromech head and was built with cheaper materials, leading to numerous design flaws. Most notably, its defective personality matrix resulted in a sullen, irritable demeanor. These issues quickly gained media attention, with the paper MechTech Illustrated famously calling the R5 a meter-tall stack of the worst business decisions you could possibly want. Poor sales led Industrial Automaton to discontinue the line shortly afterwards. Despite its shortcomings, the R5 was used during the Clone Wars in various roles, including as a starfighter astromech aboard ARC-170s and as a support unit on Acclamator-class assault ships. Some units also fell into the hands of pirate groups, such as the Onaka Gang, who modified them with blaster weaponry. One of the most infamous R5 units, R5-D4, was nearly sold to Luke Skywalker by Jawas on Tatooine, but suffered a motivator failure, leading to R2-D2 being chosen instead. Of course, for anyone that has watched my video on underrated characters, you know there's more to this story than what seems. The Rebel Alliance rarely used R5 units in starfighters because their slightly taller frame made them easier targets in an X-Wing's droid socket. Due to the Rebellion's desperate need for affordable droids, R5 units were widely used in maintenance roles. Rebel technicians also managed to upgrade some R5s for starfighter use, improving their astrogation capabilities to match the R2 series, though the personality defects remained. The R6 series Astromech Droid was the sixth model in Industrial Automaton's R-series lineup. Released shortly after the Battle of Endor, the R6 was designed to repair Industrial Automaton's reputation after the disastrous failure of the R5 series. Determined to prove that models beyond the R2 series could meet high standards, their engineers took their time refining the R6, ensuring it addressed every issue and glitch that had plagued its predecessor. At first glance, the R6's conical frustrum head resembled that of the R5, which may have raised concerns among consumers. However, the similarities ended there. The R6 was programmed with the same versatile do-it-all attitude as the R2 series, and was equipped with a full array of tools and gadgets that earlier budget models like the R4 and R5 lacked. It featured upgraded sensors, an improved processor, and an astrogation buffer capable of storing 12 hyperspace jump coordinates, a significant improvement over previous non-military models. While the R6 didn't introduce groundbreaking innovations, it filled the gap for loyal customers who wanted a capable, modern astromech without the compromises of the R5 series. Prior to Grand Admiral Thrawn's campaign to reclaim the galaxy for the Empire, the R6 was reported to be selling like quick snacks. Although the R2 series continued to outperform it in sales, the R6 remained profitable and competitive, proving to be a solid addition to Industrial Automaton's Astromech lineup. The R7 series Astromech Droid was developed by Industrial Automaton late into the Galactic Civil War, specifically for use with the New Republic new E-Wing starfighter. Unlike previous models, the R7's development was kept a corporate secret, taking place behind the scenes while public attention was focused on the release of the R6 series. The R7 featured heavy shielding against electrical discharges, making it more resistant to ion weaponry. However, as it was designed primarily for E-Wing starfighters, the R7 required extensive modifications to function properly in X-Wings or Y-Wings. It was also equipped with an astrogation buffer capable of storing up to 15 hyperspace jump coordinates, making it the astromech with the highest storage rate. There are also some R7 droids seen in the Clone Wars, like Ahsoka's R7A7. These are said to be early prototypes of the R7 series, although it's more likely that the writers just didn't consider the timeline of the droids set out in the expanded universe. The R8 series Astromech Droid was part of Industrial Automaton's R-series lineup, developed during the New Republic era, following the death of Grand Admiral Thrawn. Unlike previous models, the R8 was the only R-series astromech to lack a traditional sensor eye, instead featuring a miniature satellite dish on its dome. During development, rumors suggested that the R8 would be Industrial Automaton's first astromech droid capable of speaking BASIC, but the final model communicated in droid speak just like all its predecessors. The R8 was designed to retain the piloting capabilities of the R7 series while expanding its compatibility beyond the now outdated E-Wing. At the same time, it aimed to match the versatility, usefulness, and customizability of previous R-series droids. It surpassed all previous models in repairs, navigation, and piloting, while offering superior software customizability. In emergencies, the R8 could pilot small ships and even mid-sized vessels if properly programmed, though true dynamic piloting and intuition remained beyond its capabilities. Additionally, the R8 could even man ship weaponry with impressive accuracy, making it popular among smugglers and pirates. So yeah, imagine being shot down by an R8 sitting in the turret seat of a Falcon shooting down TIE fighters. The R9 series Astromech Droid was the last addition to Industrial Automaton's R-series lineup and was developed during the era of the Galactic Federation of Free Alliances. While similar to its predecessors, the R9 gained a reputation for its preservation routines, sometimes going so far as to withhold data from its owners to ensure its own safety. Pilots in the new Jedi Order relied on R9 units as in-flight navigators and mechanics aboard their Stealth-X starfighters. Jedi Master Luke Skywalker brought an R9 droid named Arnie on his mission to the Gorog Nest, replacing the, at the time, damaged R2-D2. Meanwhile, Mara Jade Skywalker flew with an R9 unit she called 9. Little else is known about them, though. The R0 astromechs were introduced after the Disney takeover. The droids were used by the Resistance in starfighters like their T-70 X-Wing. Their looks resembled the R5 series droid a lot, and were said to be the most advanced droid out there. One R0 series droid can be seen using the drums in Book of Boba Fett. Poe Dameron also used R0H2 as a substitute for BB-8 in The Force Awakens. The C1 series Astromech Droid was also manufactured by Industrial Automaton. It's unknown why Industrial Automaton developed them, but these droids were widely used during the Clone Wars and the reign of the Galactic Empire, though by that time they were considered antiquated, having exceeded their manufacturer's expiry date by several decades. C-Series droids were a bit smaller than R2 units, being 0.99 meters tall and were equipped with 3 dome-mounted sensors, an antenna, 2 gripper arms in their dome, and a computer interface arm. They could use their mechanical arms to manipulate objects, and their interface arm was also capable of discharging electricity. One notable unit, CH-33P, or simply Cheap, served aboard the Venator Tribunal during Order 66. He aided Ahsoka Tano in capturing Captain Rex and helped both escape before the clones could execute them. Another well-known C1 unit, C-110P, or better known as Chopper, served aboard the Ghost, though after years of repairs and modifications, his parts were a mismatched collection of replacements, even having a retractable wheel for its third leg. Due to his age, Chopper developed a somewhat combative personality. He played a vital role on the Ghost, heavily customizing its systems to the point that he was the only one who fully understood how to maintain the ship. Despite his mechanical expertise, Chopper preferred leisure activities like playing Dejarik over performing routine maintenance. Despite his faults, he's rather beloved in the fanbase and was a key part of the Star Wars Rebels series. Personally, I never liked him too much, as I just found his personality a bit annoying and moody, but that's just me, and doesn't really represent the fan base, as I'm pretty sure most people like him quite a lot. The BB series Astromech Droid, also known as the 33 series Astromech, was a model of Astromech Droid manufactured by Industrial Automaton during the Cold War era after the Battle of Endor. This droid featured a unique spherical body, allowing it to roll in any direction while keeping its domed head balanced on top. BB units were powered by a selenium drive and moved using an internal orbiculate motor, allowing them to roll smoothly across different terrains. The head and body communicated wirelessly, so they didn't need to be physically connected. A self-correcting gyroscopic system helped the droid stay balanced, even on rough ground like deserts, while its sealed shell kept out dust. For tough areas, BB units had liquid-capable launchers that let them latch onto surfaces and pull themselves into position. Additionally, the BB unit's dense outer shell featured 6 customizable tool bay discs, which could be outfitted with various equipment such as magnetic-tipped bolt spinner or the little thumbs-up thingy. The domed head of a BB unit housed a large primary photoreceptor, a smaller hollow projector, and precision-calibrated synthetic optics. It also featured a transmitter and receiver antenna. The head could also be knocked off with significant force, but it could quickly reattach itself using magnetic casters. BB units were programmed with a focused, goal-driven personality and equipped with self-preservation protocols. However, some developed strong loyalty sub-programs, leading them to risk their safety to aid their masters. They communicated in a variant of the standard Astromech droid speak language. Like earlier Astromechs, BB units were compatible with starfighter droid sockets, such as those in the T-70 X-Wing starfighter, and could manage onboard flight and power distribution systems. BB-8 was obviously one of the most notable BB units and served as the companion of Poe Dameron and later Rey. Dameron is said to have ensured BB-8's system remained in top condition as he really valued him a lot. I also have a personal anecdote about BB-8. I absolutely loved this droid when he was first revealed in 2015. Literally, I don't know anything about him, but I was like, yep, droid on a ball. Sounds like a great concept. I spent so much time in 2015 looking up reviews of the Sphero BB-8, which was basically a remote-controlled BB-8 you can control with your smartphone. He just looked so cool and cute, and I really wanted one. I never ended up getting the Sphero BB-8, but every time I see BB-8 nowadays, I'm disappointed that the sequels turned out the way they did, because I just remember how hyped and excited I was when The Force Awakens came out. I don't know if I'll ever get that sort of excitement out of Star Wars again, but yeah, here's me hoping there's greater things to come in the future. BB-8 is still fine overall, I'd say. I don't have any problems with him, I just kind of forget about him nowadays when I contemplate about droids, as I've tried to delete the sequels from my memory. The T3 series droid was a droid from the Old Republic era, and was designed for repair and maintenance tasks, performing best aboard starships. Like other utility droids of its time, the T3 unit had 4 wheeled legs. The droid's head featured a large primary photoreceptor, 2 secondary ones, a broadcast antenna, and a vocabulator. Without regular memory wipes, these droids could develop unique personalities, with some even forming gangs to engage in theft or selling their slicing skills to criminals. Equipped with advanced mechanical and computer training software, T3 droids could function as engineers or co-pilots, making them highly valued by traders and smugglers. Many were modified with a Starfighter interface package, allowing them to plug into a specialized slot and assist pilots, much like larger transport droids. However, they weren't classed as astromechs and rather as maintenance droids, but I felt they should be on here nonetheless. One of the most famous T3 droids was T3M4, a droid you can find in the Knights of the Old Republic games as a companion to Revan. He's also in the sequel accompanying Mitra Surik, and he's simply the best. The T7 series droid was designated as an astromech and was widely used during the Old Republic era, particularly throughout the Great Galactic War. One such droid, named T701, was owned by the smuggler Nico Okar, which you can see in the Old Republic cinematic trailer before later becoming the companion of the Jedi Knight known as the Hero of Tython. T7's journey alongside the Hero of Tython ultimately led the droid to accompany the Jedi during the final assault against the Sith Empire Vitiate. He's the only companion alongside the Hero to actually face the Emperor, and he lived to tell the tale even. For his bravery, T7 and the other companions were honored with the Cross of Glory. Unlike the R-Series, the Q7 series Astromech droids featured a spherical design. It featured a standard dome, while its body contained repulsor lift engines. This design allowed the Q-7 to easily enter and exit a V-wing starfighter while occupying minimal space when docked. Industrial Automaton developed several prototypes, labeled Q1 through Q6, before finalizing the Q7 model. Despite its innovative design, the Q7 series faced significant issues. Its repulsor lifts frequently malfunctioned, breaking down more often than the treads used by R-series droids. The K-series Astromech droids were active during both the Imperial and New Republic eras. Their design featured heads similar to the R-series Astromechs, particularly the R2 series. A K-series droid named KP-1 can be seen on the planet Jabim in the Kenobi show. Another one can be seen at a droid bar on Plazir 15 in The Mandalorian. The Lothal Astromech droids was a model produced by Lothal Logistics Limited. While not as advanced as the droids from Industrial Automaton, they were still considered reliable and functional. These droids featured mostly white bodies with transparent domes that exposed some of their inner mechanisms, similar to the R3 series Astromechs from Industrial Automaton. Due to their simpler design and cost-effective construction, Lothal Astromech droids were lighter than most, making them more susceptible to being knocked over and vulnerable to dust storms. The Q9 series was an experimental design by Industrial Automaton inspired by the R7 series chassis. Unlike most Astromech droids, the Q9 featured a complex personality matrix that allowed for rapid learning. One of the most famous droids of the Q9 series was Q9X2, who over-modified himself with an array of gadgets. The S19 Astromech droid was designed by Lestech as an attempt to enter the lucrative Astromech market. It featured a boxy chassis similar to the EG6 power droid and moved on a wide single track. However, this design made it unstable and prone to tipping over during sudden movements. The SK series was seen in The Mandalorian. Nothing else is really known about it. V1 pilot droids were designed by Industrial Automaton and were the first model in the V-series line. The V6 model, an upgrade to the V1, had a chassis similar to that of a standard Astromech droid, with a cylindrical body, a truncated cone-shaped head, and a height of 1 meter. It included enhanced starfighter repair programming, upgraded astrogation and piloting software, and the ability to store 5 sets of hyperspace navigation coordinates compared to the V1's 3. The Y701 Astromech droid was a model used at the Balmoran Arms Factory on the planet Balmora during the final days of the Cold War during the Old Republic. And that's it. Every Astromech series droid there is. Let me know which is your favorite and like the video.